You may have looked at the title of this video and been slightly confused, because normally I do top 10 lists for the start of an anime season, not top 5. To which I have a very simple answer. It would be a top 10 list if I could find 10 shows I'm even remotely excited about. You see, I am in general a very pessimistic person. I like to find the bad in any given situation long before I can internally calculate the good. But in seasons past, I have always tried to make an exception with upcoming anime seasons, because I love anime, and if I didn't, I wouldn't bother making these videos. So, to constantly look at every season and say, well, this upcoming season looks like shit, only to put the onus on the season itself to prove itself to me somehow just seems silly. But this season, winter 2016-2017, is just not as good as previous years, and I can prove it mathematically. Let's compare it to last year at the same time, right? That rules out any argument that says it's not a fair comparison due to the time of year. Last year this time, here's just the sequels to the good shows on the docket. Just the sequels of note. Assassination Classroom, Yeet, Snow White with the Red Hair, Haikyuu, and Durarara. This season, Konosuba, Zestria, and Aoi no Exorcist. Well, maybe also Rewrite, if that's your thing. Okay, so maybe sequels don't matter, and it's just original series that count. Well, last year this time, A1 Pictures was going all out and had 2 new shows up to watch, Erased and Grimgar, on top of them already doing a second season for Gate. Studio Dean produced 3 shows last winter, including Rei Kenzan, as well as what I consider to be the best drama series of last year, Rakugo, and the best all-around entertaining series of last year, Konosuba. Kyoto Animation, being one of my favorite animation studios, had a new show coming out, though we didn't know how bad it was at the time. Feel was releasing a series based on cheap Japanese sweets that I will neither name or show any footage of because I got a strike from that last year, which was not fun. Polygon Pictures was putting out a supernatural horror series that looked really good, and then Netflix grabbed that, and I could go on, but let's just say that that's enough to compare to this upcoming season, of which I could only find 5 shows that seem to be worth the watch. As usual, no second seasons for any shows that I have not watched or taken an interest in, so I'm sorry if that's something that you wanted me to talk about. Anyway, based on little information and ranking them arbitrarily, I present my top 5 anticipated anime of winter 2017. Let's jam. First, not honorable mentions, because one of them is anything but honorable, but more just mentions, because if I don't, I'll have people asking why. So let's get this out of the way. Fate Grand Order got a quick adaptation this season. It's already out. You can watch it, you know, if that's something you want to do. Were it an actual television series, then it would be on the list proper right quick. However, it is a single special that is just over an hour long. Now, I know very little of the story of Grand Order, mostly because my knowledge of the series does not extend far past Fate Stay Night, but I am fairly confident that this special is more so just for the fans of the game, and less for people who recently enjoyed Fate Zero and the Unlimited Blade Works seasons that Ufotable did, and are just looking for more. So, I kept it off the list. Second is the honorable mention, Chaos Child. People might be curious what I think about this series that is tangentially related to one of my favorite science fiction anime of all time, Steins Gate. My response is easy. It's a sequel to Chaos Head. And Chaos Head was a piece of absolute garbage. Like, I'm not even gonna say that I am willing to fight people who disagree with me on this, because I really don't think it would be worth my time. That is how much I don't like Chaos Head. I hate it, and I have no intention of watching its sequel. Okay? All good? Great. And with that out of the way, let's continue. Number 5, ACCA 13-ku Kansatsu-ka. Welcome to the Madhouse entry for this season. They are the reason I am watching this, combined with the fact that the series is being directed by none other than Shingo Natsume, who, for those unaware, directed the popular One Punch Man from 2015, as well as being the co-director of Space Dandy, alongside Shinichiro Watanabe of Bebop fame. Very little about the show's actual plot is known, except by those who have read the completed manga, which ain't me. It involves a kingdom that's divided 13 ways and a military agency that is similarly divided. It will follow that agency's second-in-command as he travels around the country. For what end? Who knows? Normally, just all that would turn me off until some episodes are out so I can get a better idea of the synopses, but the music from the promotional video drew me in, and reminds me a lot of Lupin the Third, though I doubt that the connection between these shows is much deeper than that. With luck, this series will be half decent. Number 4. Rakugo Shinju Season 2. This is a combination of something that should surprise no one and something that surprised me. I did end up listing last year's season of Rakugo Shinju as one of the better shows of last year, and the best drama show from 2016. But I've stated on multiple occasions that I personally was not really the audience for it. So why the hell am I excited for it? Well, there are a number of reasons, but the majority of it comes down to the character that I am most interested in learning more about now being at the forefront of the show, or at least he should be. Much of the original Rakugo took place in the past, Yakumo's past to be exact. But even from episode 1, it was Yotaro who I was personally more interested in. Sure, Yakumo's past was interesting, but for me, it wasn't as engaging as I probably would have liked. Again, this just wasn't my show, but I'm excited to see what a storyline with Yotaro is going to look like. I'm really just hoping that I can actually enjoy this series fully on a second go-around, and even if I don't, it still has a high chance of being the best drama for this upcoming year as well. Number 3, Little Witch Academia. I doubt I'm the only one who's been eagerly waiting for Little Witch Academia to finally come out of the woodwork again. It's been almost 4 years since the original release of the OVA, and in that time, we've had rumors, Kickstarters that turned into a one-film sequel, and now finally, they've decided to grace us with a full TV cour. Took them long enough. So, finally, we can get more than just a brief glimpse into the magical world that Trigger has created for us, with charming characters and hopefully some stellar animation to go along with it. There's a lot riding on this series, though hopefully not too many people claiming it to be the savior of anime, but that happens to a show almost every year. So if that does happen, well, best to get that out of the way now. Number 2, Youjo Senki. This is one series from the upcoming season that is not a sequel, but I am almost just as excited for it. It's a series about a small blonde girl taking no shit from anyone and eliminating everyone in her path. Hell yes! It seems to be taking a much darker turn to the whole magic and military thing that we got a glimpse of with Izetta just last season, and hopefully this one will have a lot more action and fewer contradictions. The worrisome bit is that it's being produced by Studio Nut. Studio Nut. Okay, so Studio Nut is brand new, and they have a lot to prove with this first production. Hopefully that means that they are at the top of their game. We'll have to see. But the PVs have enough to them that make me optimistic. Good flow to the action, nice amount of detail, the voice cast is experienced, but that's as much as I can gather because most of the actual staff of the show is unknown for the moment. I'm placing my bets on it being good because of its sheer coolness, and hopefully that'll be enough. Number 1, Konosuba. Kono fucking Suba. So yeah, this should surprise no one. The show I gave best of year 2 in 2016 has a sequel, so yeah, I am hype as hell. But I am also weary. Oh, so weary. Because Konosuba was amazing, but it was also extremely short. I can only hope that the fact that we are even getting a sequel means that the producers realize how good the series is and not give it the short end of the stick like they did last time. On top of which, I have another reason to be wary. Aqua. See, I didn't read the manga, but many people who follow me do, and I've been told countless times that the further along in the manga you go, the worse as a character Aqua gets. Now, I've heard differing opinions on her current state in the anime now. I like her, not as much as Megumin, but I certainly didn't hate Aqua, but I will agree that she has some cringe-worthy moments, and I see the possibility for her character to go much further downhill than she already has. So if that happens, then the series might not be as good as it was last year. I'm hopeful that that's not going to be the case, but we will have to see. And that's the list. You can disagree with my picks, but ultimately these are my most anticipated shows, not yours or anyone else's. But what are you guys excited for? Let me know down in the comments. As usual, there will probably be some first reaction videos to these shows upcoming, so I'm looking forward to all of that, and hopefully you are too. Yes, until then, ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty. Whoosh!